I'm proposing creating 5 additional ones.
There are other examples where it just hasn't worked.
We have to prove not only the efficacy, but the excellence of this idea. Because for every one example that you can point to, there's another of another municipality today considering opening a city-run grocery store.
So in the opening clip, you saw a hit from Fox News where Zohran was saying, this is what we're going to do, 5 grocery stores in the boroughs. Well, he wasn't kidding. The first one is just about to go online, and today he had this grand press release and press conference talking about how this grocery store is going to be run. Let's have a listen.
New York City, it is time for a grand experiment once again. Just as LaGuardia used government to respond to the challenges of the Great Depression, we will use government to respond to rising prices and unaffordable groceries. The city will subsidize a core set of staples. A private operator will run the store, but they answer to the standards that the city will set. These standards include requirements that at our stores, bread will be cheaper, eggs will be cheaper, grocery shopping will no longer be an unsolvable equation, and workers will be treated with dignity. New York.
So I have a question for you before I show you some of the figures of how spectacularly this is going to fail. Can you think of anything that the government has run that private industry could do also, where the government did a better job? I'll wait. Okay, well, the answer is there isn't one. And in this case, this isn't going to work either. In fact, the very first grocery store is just about to go online, and it costs New York City taxpayers $30 million for a Mamdani Market. This is not good, and I'll show you why it's not good. Because Aldi, let's use them just as a perfect example. It costs Aldi somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 to $3 million to open up a new store. The 5 New York City grocery stores are budgeted to be $60 million. It ain't going to make that budget because the first one costs $30. So now we're looking at in the neighborhood of $150 million of taxpayer money that Mamdani is going to use when private industry could have done this for $9 million, and that's at the high end. So again, the question to you, the question to anybody in New York City is, when has government done something better than private industry? There never has been a case. And this is what we'll say to all of you who voted for this in New York City. Don't come asking for our help, because you're going to need a bailout. These are going to fail. New York City's already on just a needlepoint budget of going bankrupt. They're taking back pensions from their public service workers, and they're trying to do all these financial shenanigans just to make the budget work. As you recall, Mamdani tried to blame that on Mayor Eric, right, just before him, but it just doesn't add up, because a socialist dream is to just have everything for free. Well, the truth is nothing's for free, and the other truth is all of the high taxpayer, high net worth citizens of New York City, well, they're leaving. So there's going to be nothing in the coffers for New York City, which leads me to conclude on this point. This is a famous quote from Ronald Reagan. The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." So again, I'll go back to Aldi and this experiment that Mamdani is trying to run. We have private industry all over New York City. In fact, the first Mamdani Market, there's an Aldi just 3.5 blocks away from them. You can't tell me that Aldi doesn't run operationally and fiscally with discipline and with certain metrics in play that are going to smoke the Mamdani Market. So the Mamdani Market is now in play, this experiment. A $30 million cost overrun for the first one. Just one. And incidentally, I'll go back to this Aldi. This is a cost overrun where the city waives rents. It doesn't pay itself taxes, and it's now partnering with third-party operators, but you could guarantee yourself that there's going to be no cronyism or shenanigans there. So they're doing everything they can to cut corners that private industry doesn't, and they're still in a budget overrun. So I'm curious what you think. Is the Mamdani market going to work? Is it going to demonstrate to the rest of America how our major cities should be subsidizing grocery stores for whoever? I'm curious. If this works and I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it. But it's been tried before, and every time it's been tried, it failed. Think Cuba. Think Venezuela. Think any socialist government where there's handouts and no incentives for operational efficiency or fiscal discipline. It's going to fail. New York City, this is your first of many Mamdani failed experiments. And again, don't come asking us to bail you out. We're already out of money. You're just going to the next level. So that's the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will the Mamdani experiment work? Are you going to be moving to New York City? Maybe that's a better question. Because, why not? Free groceries. Who wouldn't? I wouldn't. If you've yet to subscribe to America First Alerts, please do so. We'd love to have you along for the ride. Our very next video is one that you're not going to miss. This is where Gavin Newsom is now proposing a bill. It actually pushed forward through the California legislature to criminalize investigative journalists like Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley, the 23-year-old with a GoPro camera who uncovered hundreds of millions of alleged fraudulent claims with California hospice centers. He did the same in Tim Walz's Minnesota with Leering centers in the Somalian community. That video is up next, and you absolutely don't want to miss it. Check it out.